EMS Century, providers of MediVoice Alert, is the only device on the market recognized by government agencies such as the FDA and Medicare. MediVoice Alert, approved in all 50 states, allows you or family members to have the most advanced technology with Medicare reimbursement under most plans. There's no need to put a price on your loved one's safety and independence. Call us today at 1-877-406-1724. MediVoice Alert, when everything matters. Connection Network, and I'm here with our good friend Larry Parker. MediVoice Alert. You know, you talk a lot about what's happening in the MediVoice Alert, and the most unique part of your program is what?
I think really looking out for the seniors, because seniors today are on a very tight budget. So we try to find ways to keep the cost down so it is affordable for them. And that's why we keep our monitoring down to $19.95. There's many out there that are $27 to $50 a month. Those people cannot afford that.
You know, and when people see your little bit of intro to your product, one of the things that I was impressed with, and I will tell you, is that not only you care about the seniors from a monetary standpoint, but you care about them as a community too, and you're looking out for them.
Yes, and also giving them the ability that when they're outside or someplace remote, that when they push the button, they're talking to an EMT operator, two-way voice communication, which is very important.
So your background in the security system, their security company that you own, really helped you develop this product?
Yes.
Good. Well, I'll tell you what, thanks for what you're doing in the community. MediVoice Alert, you're on Facebook too, so hey, we got these guys. You're like right in the 21st century here.
Person.
Huh?
Thank you.
Okay.
Make sure you have a son, daughter, niece, nephew there at that time. There's too many scams going on. For example, even in this industry, there are people calling older people and saying, your medical alarm has come in, when can I deliver it? That's just one, but there are many. But it's not only that in this field, but there's other fields. So please, look out for your mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, whoever it is, because again, there's a lot of scams going on out there. Tell you a little bit about MediVoice Alert. EMS Century was incorporated in July of 2010. I've been in the security in the health industry for 30 years. I primarily was concerned after I sold another company and with the elderly people. To me, when you have a medical alarm system, it's more than just pushing a button and somebody saying, well, that's good 1,000 feet away. Well, that's fine, but if you push the button, where are you and who can you talk to? Yes, there are units out there that you can push a button. You have to be in the bedroom or you have to be within communicating distance. With ours, the pendant is a two-way communicator and can communicate up to 200 feet away from the base station. Now, how is this important? We have people, for example, that live in apartment buildings, and they might have to go 5 doors down to go to the laundry room, and if they're there, they could be by themselves, and this has happened, where a lady, 83 years old, fell, and she was there for an hour and a half. Every time she thought she heard somebody out in the hallway, she was hollering. So finally, somebody did find her. And of course, her son did a lot of research on the different type of units, meaning that if she'd had the one, you push the wristwatch, all they would have done is come to her apartment. She's not there. Where is she? So they're looking all over the building for her. In the meantime, what could be really wrong with that individual? The other day here in Canton, we had a lady that fell down the stair steps. She was outside her apartment. She pushed a button and she was able to communicate with our EMT certified operators. Therefore, they told her, hey, you stay still and EMS is on the way. And they stay on the two-way communicator with the individual until the help does arrive. But not only for senior citizens, the fact that if they live alone, and there's a lot of them that do, they have problems with people trying to break in at night and so on. They know they live alone. So therefore, we tell them this is set up as a medical alarm device. And it is the only one I know of that is also registered with the FDA. Also the only one that is Medicare Part B provider approved for reimbursement up to 80%. And then of course Medicare slides it over if you have secondary insurance like ARP, United Health, Blue Cross Blue Shield or something like that. They'll slide it over, and in many cases it's paid for in full. The other thing that I caution people on is the fact that yes, I can give you this free, but now I charge you $50 a month. So that's $600 a year. Yes, our unit might be $299.95, but for what you get quality-wise and what it will do for the individual is one thing. But we kept our monitoring down to $19.95 a month so that, yes, you have a little shock up front, but the aftermath is you're only paying $19.95 a month. And we have to watch things because we're also monitored by Medicare. And soon we're going to be going into the passport program. And also we've had some other insurance companies invite us into their network. So we're going to pursue that. And I can only tell you that when you do look at a medical alarm, the question is, what is it going to do for my mother and my father? I think that's a very important thing. The fact that we have EMT certified operators. We had an incident last night where someone pushed a button and the EMT operator was telling the individual how to try to resuscitate that individual. When you take other operators, yes, I'll just send an ambulance to that address. So at least you get some type of triage before EMS even gets there. So I think that's very important. Our products are warranted for a year of parts and labor. We also ship all over the United States. So even though you're here and you say, I have a mother or mother-in-law in Miami, Florida, we still take care of them as if they're in North Canton, Ohio. So that's never been a problem. We've had people in Miami that have purchased a product for their mother in Maryland, for example. And that is not a problem. And everyone has been very happy. Keep in mind too, it cuts down false alarms in the respect that with the other one, if you false alarm it, it could cost you $300 for a false alarm charge on an ambulance call. In some areas they do charge. Some areas they don't. But we've had this happen where people have changed over to us as a result of that they've gotten false alarm charges of $200 or $300. So that's the other important thing. And really the most important thing is the fact that if they're in the basement, out in the garage, out in the yard, they can still talk to someone. We have people that in the wintertime will go from their house to the road with their garbage can, and they have actually fallen and no one has paid attention to them. And then all of a sudden, we've had a couple that have pushed a button, a couple that didn't, and referred us, and they said, I don't care about Medicare or anything, I just want your product because I know if I'm outside, I can communicate with someone. So I think that is the very important thing. Does anyone have any questions? Yes. They are water resistant, and I'm glad you brought that up because we tell people to take this and you can put it on the center knob in the shower, okay? Others, I tell them, these little 3M hooks that you can stick on a wall. put right outside a shower, and then you hang this. And always tell them, do that before you get into the shower, because there's residue on the floor. In many cases, you turn the water on and you step your foot in, and you could slip and fall before you even get into the shower. So at least you have the opportunity of grabbing this and pushing a button, and not necessarily do you need EMS. You can say, call my son, call my daughter, call my neighbor, and we have a list of all that information. We have their name, age, height, weight, their doctor's name, the hospital they want transported to, all their current medical condition, all their allergies, and all the medications they take. So when they do push a button, hypothetically, if someone is allergic to latex, we tell EMS, do not wear latex gloves when you're working with that individual. So all these things are very important, and we have that available and able to communicate. In some cases, a doctor in a hospital might tell EMS, give them penicillin or something, and they can say, no, they're allergic to it. So right away, that definitely helps that particular individual.
What happens if I fall in the shower and EMS people have to come in and do they break down my door?
No, we provide free of charge a lockbox that you can put your key in, and we also have the combination, and we tell EMS that it's on the side door, front door, and this is a combination, and the key is inside.
You probably could put a calendar from a doctor does in that lockbox.
But that is also very important. Even if you don't have our product and you have someone else's product, I encourage people to have a lockbox so that emergency people can get in where someone is living alone, especially so they don't break the door down. And I had that happen where a lady said, no, I don't need that, I don't want that. 6 months later, she's calling and saying, hey, when I was in the security end of it, I need a new door switch. Oh, but no, that is very, very important, so someone can get in immediately. And the nice thing about when we're talking about EMT certified operators, I had one case where a lady and her husband was walking down the hallway from their bedroom going to the kitchen, and she fell. He tried to catch her, and both of them ended up on the floor in the hallway. Well, he was smart enough, he pushed the button, and when it came up that 4 months ago, left leg, knee replacement, Altman Hospital. So right away when we call EMS, we tell them that she's 80 years old, left leg, 4 months ago, knee replacement. So now they're thinking, how am I going to treat this lady when we get there? Do we use an air splint? Or do we use a backboard? How do we take care of that individual? Because our people have already told them, don't move, don't do a thing. EMS is on the way, and they will get in the lockbox and come right to the hallway where you're located.
What's the range for
200 feet.
200 feet? So
Yes. It could be in some areas even further, but I can tell you that every time we program one in the shop, we test it, and we're going outside a steel building and over 150 feet or so away. And then before it's either shipped or delivered to a customer, we again test it. And then when the individual gets it, if we ship it out, we have a quick instruction sheet, and automatically it tells them, hey, you push the blue button and you'll be talking to an EMT operator. I can tell you in all honesty, in all the ones we shipped all over the United States, we don't get callbacks of how do you do this or how do you do that. So I see it. Our equipment is set up so that weekly there's a test, and I get a test signal report every day on all the equipment all over the United States. If there's a problem, low battery, this or that, I get that report also. So we can call the customer and say, we feel you're having this kind of problem, is that right? And sometimes realize our oldest customer is 104 years old. And then we have another one that's 101. And so when you're dealing with these people, like the lady that's 104, her son is a doctor. And he did a lot of research before he purchased our product based on all the things that we do versus somebody just pushing a button and say, I'll send an ambulance. But this is the thing that she has the ability every day. She pushes the button, he's got her trained, and says that I'm okay. Now, she's Greek, okay? She can speak a little bit of English, but when you start talking to her, she starts talking Greek. Well, we have interpreters. So we already know that she's Greek, and that when she pushes that button, they start the process of getting a Greek interpreter to communicate with her. Same with Spanish and so on. So we do that all the time, and I don't know that other companies do that, but we do have interpreters for different languages available.
What happens if I don't have a home phone anymore?
Cellular. But here's the thing too, what I tell people to save them money. Again, you're looking at people that are on fixed income. You're looking at people that get anywhere from $600 to maybe $1,800 a month to live on. So what I tell people to do, you can call the phone company, but also you get a prescription from your doctor that you need a telephone line because of a medical alarm device. In many cases, and people come back, it works, that they will charge that individual, instead of $25, $30, $40, $50 a month for a phone, $10, $12. So they can afford $10, $12 a month. But also what it does for them, it gives them access to a telephone that they can physically call someone else in the family.